Okay, see, in the last class, I gave you an overview about the basic types of biometrics. I told you that, generally speaking, biometrics are either physiological in nature, which are connected to the human body, or they are behavioral, which are connected to the behavior of a person. But the biggest the advantage of these is that they are used to distinguish. We can distinguish one person from the other using these biometrics, and that is why biometrics is the best technology for authentication. Because I told you that today we have so many myriad we have so many challenges with respect to security, especially during this digital transformation. Has accelerated because of the pandemic also, and so many security challenges are there: integrity of data, secrecy of data, non-repudiation of the transaction, meaning you do a transaction online, tomorrow you should not deny that you did the transaction. All those kind of things are there. So and of course authentication, you need to authenticate that you are the person. So that is where we have biometrics as an excellent technology, because biometric is for authentication is what you have, what you know, and what you are. It is about you as a person. And biometric systems have been there for quite some time, but last 200-300 years we have seen a lot of traction and movement, and various systems are there. And I also told you about the recognition of a biometric. First you give your biometric, you give your fingerprint initially into the database. The fingerprint is given, it is checked for quality of the image, then the features are extracted and stored. The next time you give the biometric, it takes this image and does a feature extraction of this image, matches this features with the existing image already in the database. That is the verification mode. And I told you identification mode. So the database has hundreds of people, but it will be able to identify your features and say this fingerprint belongs to X or Y. That is the identification mode. I also told you that the biometric system will have 4 modules. A sensor module to sense the data, sense the image, either the fingerprint, the iris, the retina. It's an image. Signature is an image. Or you're giving a speech. You're talking to the voice recognition or the speech recognition system. Again, it's a message, right? That message also kind of it's converted into a signal or a waveform. But for anything and everything, you need to sense the data. That's a sensor module. Then you need to extract the features from that image or that waveform or that impression. Then you have a matcher. Matcher is to extract the image features and then compare with the features in the database, and finally the database module. So this is very straightforward. So today what we are going to see is the different types of biometrics that are available. And as I mentioned, physiological is something to do with your human body, and behavioral is to do with your behavior. Voice is speech. Speech and voice are the same, right? How you speak, that is a biometric. Your voice, the tone, the frequency, the cadence, the kind of pitch that you are using, all that is a very good unique feature of a person. Speech or voice is a behavioral biometric. We will see each of these in detail, and what are the pros, what are the cons in detail we will see. Anyways, signature, your signature, how you are giving a signature, that is also a very important biometric. Your signature is unique. Obviously, you are using the signature for as legal tender. When you are signing documents in legal tender, you are using that. So that is a unique biometric. Typing pattern, the way you type. Each of us has our own style of typing. That typing is also a good behavioral biometric. We'll see this also in detail. We'll see all these. Then gait, G-A-I-T. Gait is the walking style. How you are walking. Each of us has our own style of walking. So the walking style also can be a good biometric with respect to the behavior. So we will see out of these 4, the speech or voice we will see in detail in the subsequent classes. We'll see signature in detail, in the subsequent classes. We'll see typing pattern also in detail, and finally we won't be seeing gait or walking in detail. We'll just I mean, it's not going to be taught in detail. Now coming to the physiological biometrics that are part of your body. Fingerprint, very common. Police and law enforcement agencies have been using this for time immemorial. Hand or finger geometry. Hand, instead of the finger you have the hand. Another biometric, similar biometric. Palm print. So when you're saying hand or finger, it is only taking the five, the fingers. Palm print means the entire hand, the palm of the hand, including the fingers, are there. Then face recognition systems, vein patterns. You know, you in your hands you'll be seeing the venal patterns, the arteries and the veins that carry. Correct me if I am wrong. Arteries carry blood from the heart to different parts of the body, and veins take the impure blood from various parts of the body and return it to the heart for purification. That venal patterns, veins pattern is a good biometric. DNA, your DNA, that is a very excellent biometric. Dental patterns, dental patterns are a good biometric. Of course, in India and all, I mean, at least in the West, dental patterns are very most common. In fact, if there is a crash, they usually recognize the victims through the dental records, because in US and for Western countries, you have a dentist. The dentist has all your records, so it's easy to compare. In India, that may not be the case, because see, you go to a dentist today, next year you may go to a different dentist, and that dentist may not have your records. So those kind of things may not work in India, but anyway, it's a good this thing. And then coming to the best two biometrics that are available, that is the iris and the retina. Both are parts of the eye, your human eye. So both are parts of the human eye, and they are the best. Now, why are they best? Today, I have already told you biometrics everywhere. You are seeing commercial establishments, government establishment, Aadhaar card is based on two biometrics, fingerprint and the iris. You are using an Aadhaar is now a passport to get so many things. Commercial establishments, offices, government, forensics, that is, for law enforcement, police, law enforcement agencies, then airports, biometric passports are there. In the future, as I told you, you may not even have to carry a passport. You just walk. You'll be scoped, and you'll find out stuff. So everywhere we are seeing biometrics being used. Now, why I told you, generally speaking, all the physiological biometrics are better than the behavioral biometrics. The reason is pretty obvious. Human behavior changes, right? That is why most of the physiological biometrics are much better than the behavioral biometrics. All these behavioral biometrics generally undergo changes. They vary on and off. Your voice also changes. As you grow older, your voice changes. Your signature also goes on changing. Typing pattern may or may not change. Walking style may or may not change much, but it will still change. But the fingerprint will not change much. The palm print will not change. The face will not change much. Even if you grow a beard, that is not going to change the dimensions of your face, the measurements of your face. Your venal patterns not going to change. Iris is not going to change. Retina is not going to change. Even if you have short sight, you're putting a spectacles, there will be very small variations only. It's not going to change much. And obviously DNA, dental will never change. So generally speaking, the physiological biometrics are much better. Now, how do we ascertain them? There is something called the 7 pillars of biometric wisdom. It's a very good way to find out why a biometric is used, why it is preferred over others, how universal the biometric is, whether everybody can use it, how unique it is, means it doesn't change, it is unique to a person. See, like I told you, voice, there are mimicry artists who can easily, copy a voice of a person. So it's not unique. It is not so unique. But your iris is perfect. It is so unique, right? Nobody can change. your retina is unique, your fingerprint is unique. Yes, if you do a small cut on your finger, slight variation will be there, but it's still more or less it is unique, right? So how universal the biometric is, how unique the biometric is, how permanent it is. It doesn't change over time, right? Definitely your signature will change over time. I cannot even recognize my signature. I was just looking into my oldest passport. I have 4 or 5 passports. I can't even recognize the sign. It's very different. I mean, when you're a kid, the signature is totally different, right? It's not permanent, right? Then how easy it is to collect it, how easy it is, how intrusive it is. Now, when you are asking somebody for a blood this thing, you know, you have to poke your hand. It is intrusive, right? When you are giving a fingerprint, you give it into a sensor, it is intrusive. You are touching something, and now with this pandemic, these are all very critical problems, you know, because because of that fingerprint, you know, you can transmit diseases. So that is also a collectability, measurability, and acceptability are very much also interconnected features. I would, anybody today in the pandemic situation would prefer something that is not intrusive. If there is an iris recognition system, the iris, that sensor is not touching you, so there is no problem, right? That would be preferable to a fingerprint where you are touching, a hand you are touching, right? These are all intrusive things. So the acceptability, performance, circumvention. Circumvention means how you can cheat the system, how you can spoof the system. So biometrics are rated based on the 7 pillars of biometric wisdom, namely universality, uniqueness, permanence, collectability, acceptability, performance, and circumvention. And you will find out that this is a comparison. You will find out that maximum the iris scores, I think, better than any other thing, you know, face, high, low, and medium, right? So in that, when you see this, the iris is probably the best. I think so. It's the best. Among only in some features it's not the way. You can do a comparative study and find out which is, but my understanding is iris and retina are better than the others, you know, than the others. That's the general understanding. And we will also see that there is something in the next class. We will be seeing the FAR and the FRR, false acceptance rate and false reject rate. That is very low in both retina and iris. We'll see that in the subsequent classes. So now I want to just show you one more thing. This is, can you see the screen? Can you see a folder? Students, please confirm.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, able to see.
Yeah, this is how your AUMS area looks like. If you see the course material that has been uploaded into your AUMS area, this is how it looks like. There is a PPT for course plan and syllabus, which I explained, it is there. There is a PPT for the term project, but of course I think that code I got it wrong. It is 440. I wrote the old code. Anyway, I'll be explaining this in the subsequent classes. Now, if you see, there are three types of files rather. There is a textbook and textbook. Anil Jain and John Waka. These are the textbooks that have been uploaded already to your AUMS area. Now, for the first, I have already told you there are 2 packages to this course. The first package is the fundamental concepts of biometrics, and the second package is all the different types of biometrics. So for all the different types of biometrics, you have to refer these 2 textbooks, Anil Jain and John Waka. That is, are you seeing my cursor move? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You are able to see my cursor, right? So you will see slides hyphen, face 1 and 2, finger scan, automatic fingerprint system, hand scan, iris recognition, iris scan, keystroke scan, retinal scan, signature scan, voice scan. These are the slides for the various. This is the second part of the course, the second package. And for all these slides, you have to refer these 2 textbooks. Both the textbooks are, I mean, there is no proper textbook for biometrics. John Waka is somewhat okay, but there is no single textbook. Maybe somebody should write this. But anyways, what I want to try to tell you is that the second package of the course, you look at the slides as the primary reference material and then refer the textbooks, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Now coming to the first part of the course. For the first part of the course, you will see only 2 slides are there. Slide biometric fundamentals, which I am now explaining to you. Slides hyphen biometric standards, which I will be covering next. Now for these 2 things, the first part of the course, there are 4 files called course material hyphen biometric overview fundamentals, course material hyphen biometric standards, course material hyphen multimodal biometrics, course material and slides hyphen pattern recognition. So it is enough for the midterm. Midterm may have 1 or 2 more. I don't know where we will reach, but for the midterm, you will need to only study these 6 files. Slides hyphen biometrics fundamentals, slides hyphen biometric standards, course material biometric overview or fundamentals, course material biometric standards, course material multimodal biometrics, course material and slide pattern recognition. Pattern recognition, the course material and the slide are the same. So for the first part of the course, you only need to study these 6 files. That is the first part of the course. Second part of the course, you look into the various biometrics and also refer the textbooks as a secondary reference material. Now, before I take attendance, one more thing I want to ask you. I should have done this in the first class, but this is a general question. Yeah. So in my slides, right, there is an image. Whose image is this? A very famous image.
Mona Lisa.
Yeah, you all know it is the Mona Lisa. Can you tell me why I have used this Mona Lisa? This thing. There is a reason. This slide. I mean, before I took this course, also I have given presentation on biometric many places, but I always use this slide. But there is a reason. Can anybody tell me why this Mona Lisa is so famous?
Eyes are represented in a particular way that it kind of follows you wherever you go,
That's okay. But yeah, there are multiple. It's the most costliest. There is no price for this Mona Lisa. Nobody knows the price for the Mona Lisa. It is probably the most costliest painting ever. Nobody knows. It can never go on sale. It is so priceless. You know, there are some Vincent van Gogh's paintings that go for millions of dollars, but this nobody can predict. It's the most popular, and it is in the Louvre in Paris. But there are many stories to this. People nobody actually conclusively knows who is this Mona Lisa. People say it is the daughter of. It's a very beautiful figure. Extremely beautiful lady, a woman, but people do not know who it is. People speculate that it is the daughter of the assistant of Leonardo da Vinci, but that is again one account. There is another account that says that this is it's not a real person, it's an impression of a woman. Some woman was there in his mind, but he kind of beautified and stuff like that. There is another theory that says that at that point of time men were also having long hair. So people say that this is similar to a young Leonardo da Vinci. This is how he used to look. Of course, he beautified himself. Men also had long hair, so you can't differentiate between a man and a woman at that point of time, in terms of hair at least. So that's it's even today. It's a enigma. It's a mystery, but many people conclusively say it is the daughter of the assistant to Leonardo da Vinci. That is the most potent theory, but we don't know. That's one reason why I put this, because it's still a mystery. The actual origin of the Mona Lisa and that image, who is that person? That's the only reason why I selected this image for the class. Okay, now you can please answer your attendance 3 at a time. Arogya, Sherbin, Ashika, Divya. Three at a time, please raise your hands.